Thanks all for joining our video. We're going to talk to you about the new commerce experience.
Right, James. So what is new commerce experience?
It's a great question, Smitha. So the new commerce experience is the only way that partners and customers will be able to buy seat-based licensing as of 2022. And this is a massive change for the whole ecosystem and the whole partners. It causes a ripple effect in terms of how things are purchased, as I've mentioned, but it isn't something that's new. It's something that's been around. It started in 2019 with Azure Plan. Smitha, when we think about it from a customer point of view, it's complex. You know, actually purchasing licensing from Microsoft is really complex. There's different rules and it's a fragmented approach when we think about it, because there are so many different contracts for each agreement. You know, enterprise agreement has different contracts to, say, Web Direct, and the opportunity for a customer can be overwhelming because there's Open as well and Select Plus. Some of those have end dates in sight and some of them are already ended, but from an end customer point of view, it's really complex and definitely fragmented, as I've mentioned. But the hero motion is CSP. So therefore, you know, that is where Microsoft see the hero motion for Azure and the seat-based licensing in Dynamics and modern workplace licensing. But what Microsoft have done with NCE is, you know, it's not this fragmented approach. You know, if you buy Web Direct, if you buy Enterprise Agreement, if you buy CSP, there's really one back-end infrastructure. So all the same back-end infrastructure, all the same portals in lots of ways. And then, you know, you sign one agreement in the MCA, the Microsoft Customer Agreement. So some of that complexity disappears. And that's the reason why Microsoft made this move in 2019 to move Azure Plan into new commerce. It's because they want to break down these barriers of, you know, complexity that sits behind it and have one central agreement that they sign that sits within the new commerce experience, so it's really easy for partners. So Smitha, what does this mean in true sense for the partners?
So moving to NCE is an opportunity for partners to become more strategic and help prepare the client's environment for better growth by increasing licensing options. Microsoft is meeting diverse customer scenarios, which increases operational efficiency, and by considering clients' IT demands in short, medium, and longer terms, allowing discounts. As a partner, you have the responsibility to choose the right distributor that will give you the correct sales and technical support, the aggregate vendors and services to increase your margin and adding value to your success.
Thanks for taking us through, you know, what this means to partners. I guess, you know, for the people out there, why is this happening? What is the root cause of this? So
CSP maturity has got into a point where Microsoft needs to address the needs of its users globally and keep up with current trends. I see this as an opportunity for partners to sell the new technology that future-proofs and optimizes the customer's investment.
Thanks, Smitha. So Darren, when are these changes happening?
So Steve, the new commerce experience license changes come in on March the 1st, 2022, and that's when all of the licenses change and revert to the new model. So Steve, what plans are included in the modern workplace price increases?
Thank you, Darren. So, as of March, we will see a number of changes. These include the modern workplace plans across the small, medium business plans and the enterprise plans, including E1, E3 and the M365 suite. So James, what are the different licensing models that are available?
It's a good question, Steve. So there is, you know, with NCE, there's flexibility in both. There's kind of two flavors as it stands today. So there's the 1 month commitment, which allows for month-to-month pricing. And there's an annual commitment. So the annual commitment is in a 1 or 3 year option as it stands today. To add complexity to it, you can purchase the annual commitment in a monthly format. So you could do that in a 12 or 36 month. There is a slight price reduction, I should say. If you go down the annual route, as opposed to the monthly, there will be a higher cost if an end customer decides to go down the monthly route. Another point to consider here on this, Steve, is that we move away from the cancel when you want to this now, similar to EA models where you have a 72-hour window on CSP now under NCE. So this becomes more prevalent when you're doing these annual commitments that are of a larger nature. You only have a 72-hour, and that's not business hour, that's the full work, the full week. So if you cancel, you only have the ability to cancel within that first 72 hours. So it's imperative that our partners and our customers have the advice and have the support when they're picking the licenses, because you can only change the licenses at the end of the commitment, whether that be annual or monthly.
So James, can a customer cancel during the term of the agreement? Are there any penalties? I think we need to just make sure this is really clear.
No, it's a really good point, and one that comes up quite often in some of the forums we've done and some of the sessions we've had. As it stands today, you are committing. So if you as a customer are committing to a term, whether it be 1 month or annual, and that can be 1 or 3 years, you now have to wait until the end of that before making any changes. So the ability to flex up and flex down is you can flex up most definitely, but decreasing is not possible until the end of the term. The beauty of Arrosphere is all of that integration and all that automation is within the platform that allows you to make these changes and can time them even to the point that when your contract ends, whether it be in a month, whether it be in annually in a year, you can make those changes at that given point.
So Steve, what is excluded in New Commerce Experience?
Thank you, Darren. So if we flip this around, what is currently included is just the commercial sector. So any of the other sectors are excluded. That would be government, not-for-profit, healthcare and education.
So Steve, how does NCE impact, partners in terms of profitability? And when we think about the PEC as well, partner earned credit, how is this going to impact them? How is NCE going to impact them?
Okay, thank you, James. So from the launch of the NCE experience, partners will be able to earn credit, and that credit will still be earned on their, what we're now calling their legacy transactions, as well as the new transactions. So the partner earned credit will continue throughout the transitional period, which is due to stop later in 2022. At that point in time, partners will no longer earn credit on the legacy. Okay, so that's quite an important change. So what we're advising is during the transitional period, probably starting in around March time, is to start to transition to this new experience, because there will be some additional incentives on the table.
So what is Arrow doing to support our partners, Darren?
Arrow have a few areas where we can help our partners. Number one, we have a Microsoft licensing health check service that can be used by partners to ensure that their customers are using the right Microsoft 365 licenses. And with Arrosphere, which is our e-commerce engine that our partners use to procure their licenses, we added some important features for NCE. So we covered earlier on how important it is in the 72-hour window to make sure that you've got the right licenses purchased, which also means that the date of expiry is also very important if your customers have maybe shrunk in size by 12 users, to make sure that those 12 users are taken off. So we've got automated functionality in Arrosphere to help with that. And some other areas are, we've been running a monthly drop-in session on Microsoft Teams for a number of months, and it's been very successful. That will continue. And on top of that, we have a FAQ, which will be continually updated moving forward, because we suspect there may be changes to this program going forward. And then the last thing we can do is help with some sort of dedicated training sessions for partners, maybe with the procurement department, the sales department, etc. So James, with everything that we've discussed around NCE, what should partners do next?
It's a great question, Darren, and there's really, we've created a lot of things for partners. By us to partners is work with the team, work with the Arrow team as much as you can. We've got a great commercial resource that can help you with any questions around NCE. We have a great marketing department that have created a lot of content that is customer facing. So there's, from a people perspective at Arrow, there's lots of things available. We also have Arrosphere, and within Arrosphere we have Knowledge Center, and there's training provided on there. Some of the stuff that you touched on about increasing and decreasing and the optimization, that's all within there, and there's training videos that are available that help you and help partners understand how to use Arrosphere and how to use the functionality when it comes down to NCE. On top of that, we have our LMS platform, which is on-demand videos that is on different subject areas. We've got some that are on Azure, some that are on Dynamics, some that are on Modern Workplace, and it really helps partners understand it. We've created our own health check as well. So we have our health check, which can look into all the licensing and are you on the right licensing type. So there's an abundance of stuff that is available to partners. So use the Arrow team. We're here to support. If you grow, we grow. If you want to find out more about what's been discussed today in the new commerce experience, then please reach out to the Arrow team.